We already have had 4 matchups of top 5 teams this college football season. Had another one Saturday when Ohio State went to Happy Valley and won. And did you know Will Howard wanted to go to Happy Valley all along? Here's what he said during the week.
I'm stoked. I cannot wait. It's going to be a homecoming for me. I grew up a Penn State fan. I wanted to go there my whole life. They didn't think I was good enough. But I guess we'll see.
He was good enough on Saturday, although it got off to a shaky start, AT. This is not what he wanted to do.
No, a pick six right out of the gate is not how you want to start your day on a road in front of 110,000 people.
Nope, but he fired right back. They were using misdirection against the Penn State defense and started scoring up 14-10 here. And then, Rick, one of the craziest plays.
There's so much to like about Will Howard. There's certainly lots of talent. Right here, this can't happen, though. You cannot turn the ball over. This ball would be ruled a touchback for Penn State. And that means 14 points have come off the board for Will Howard in favor of Penn State. Now, this right here, they get the monkey off their back, and they get it right back as being
wild.
Makes the great interception right there.
Because Penn State was having all the trouble in the red zone themselves. They were 1 for 3 scoring at all in the red zone, and at the end it really got them because on 4th and goal, an incompletion after Tyler Warren had gone down inside the 3-yard line, PJ. We haven't seen Ryan Day that excited. Chip Kelly coming down from the booth. Are they pumped or what?
That to me is the biggest deal. That to me. We
Smile?
saw him win that huge game a year ago against Notre Dame, and all it was vitriol. You know, everybody hates the whole state of Ohio, right? Yeah. And comes after him. Right here, we saw joy.
Yeah.
Pure joy. They haven't seen that at Ohio State because of the pressure on this team, how much money they spent on the roster. They're actually enjoying it. I hope it spins off and it carries them through the rest of the year.
It's easy to be joyous when you can watch your defense down there on the goal line, bow their neck, and stop Penn State. All the momentum's on their side. They're on their 3-yard line, and you stone them 4 consecutive plays. And not only does the defense do that, the offense takes the ball over on the 1-yard line, and they close the game out. 11 plays, 58 yards. You know how many plays were pass plays? 0. They ran it down their opponent's throat. All this talk, myself included, about the attrition on the offensive line. They got right at just the right time, and then they went out and they proved it. They were masterful, especially that last drive, just going back to old man football, old Ohio State football, silver bullet defense, and an offensive line that just mashes and pushes people around.
This was the win that they couldn't get at Oregon. It was the loss they couldn't possibly take at Penn State. Maybe they would still get into a 12-team CFP with a second loss, but now they're still in contention for that Big Ten championship game.
What it reminds me of is when Oregon got that win over Ohio State. You saw that team changed. They also got healthier on the offensive line, and they've gone on this great run. To me, this felt like not a moral victory for Ohio State, but a confidence-building one where they knew that this had been the sort of type of game that they couldn't win before. And this was James Franklin moment, and Penn State as well. And they flinched, and Ohio State didn't. BJ, you mentioned how they ended the game. Justin Fry, their offensive line coach, I thought Ohio State was going to have one of the better offensive lines coming into this season. It didn't work out that way. But then you lose Josh Simmons. Carson Hinsman comes up. Donovan Jackson goes over to left tackle, and they own the trenches. Poise is being at your best when your best is needed, and that's how Ohio State ended this game. This is going to be a huge confidence booster. They are going to get better by the week heading into the postseason.
Michigan has a little brother, Michigan State. Ohio State has a little brother. It's Penn State.
8 straight.
Yes. They own them.
And so where does James Franklin turn, by the way?
Penn State fans are going to love you.
I don't give a damn. It's the truth.
But here's the
truth
thing.
will set you free.
And James Franklin. James Franklin had to hear it all preseason about how, if they had the CFP all these other years, you would have made it because your only losses were to Ohio State and only to Michigan. They don't even face Michigan this year, but it is 8 straight against Ohio State. Where does Penn State have to turn now to stay top 10 going down the stretch?
They have to make sure this one loss doesn't become 2 because of this narrative, right? Everybody focusing on what has happened in the past against teams like Michigan and Ohio State. This is behind them. They still have a good football team. There's much to be learned from this game. Can't make the ridiculous penalties when you've got them on the ropes. The turnovers, obviously, the fourth down conversion has to happen. So you get better. There's still a schedule out there, and if they're not in the CFP, then you can get mad at James Franklin.
That wasn't a championship quality team that I saw today in Penn State. They're not a top 10 team with the way that they played. They could be. They're talented enough.
Yep.
And I think if a Drew Aller type player has the same sort of conviction that we saw from Will Howard was getting torched.
How do you say they're not a championship caliber team? We just watched them at USC. They came down and hit two.
Maybe they're not top five.
They hit 2 fourth down passes. It's a one-score game, and they just didn't hit the fourth down play.
I'm saying when I look at them and stack them at their best, they've fallen short, Rick. They haven't done what it is.
The facts are the facts. I mean, I can't argue that James has not gotten the big win when he needs it, but I still believe the talent is there.
I agree with you.
What they have to do is go back to work, because I think in this field where you get 12 teams, they're going to be part of it.
But he's talking about national championship, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about national championships, and I'm talking about they're underperforming their talent level. That's the problem. They've got to figure out a way to shift their mindset to start to elevate their level of play, just like Ohio State did. They're a talented team, but they didn't play to their capability.
Well, the mistakes. We talk about the penalties. 5 penalties, a huge one. They're about to get off the field. They're up 10-7, and the guy has a silly mistake. We didn't think it was as egregious, but it's still a foul. You don't have to clown the guy you just tackled. Get your butt up. Get your over to the sideline, put your offense back out there, and live to play another
Walking
day.
over the guy.
Yeah, but now you give them extra downs, and they go on to score a touchdown, and you never sniff the lead again after that play. That's not championship caliber football. And I disagree with you. If they had the talent, they would have won today. Ohio State is a more talented team. That's why they pushed them around in the trenches. We were discussing, who gets off the bus and you like, dang, yeah.
About what?
There's always that one guy, like, let him get off the bus first.
Well, Ohio State was favored. Penn State's got maybe Tyler Warren as an elite offensive player. Ohio State led Julian Fleming.
He's the best tight end in the game.
Yeah.
He's the best, and they shut him down until the second half. We were asking, where's Tyler Warren? Then they start getting the ball to him. But what did they come up with on that goal line? That's ridiculous. That's just going back to fundamentals.
It was actually Tyler Warren direct snap to get him there.
Every one of those plays worked on the chalkboard. I promise every one does. It's just,
and it works on dummies too. But them dummies don't hit back.
The margins are this close. All I'm telling you, don't let one loss become 2. Go back to work. Get ready for these final 3 games.
That's a given, Coach.
And
we know that.
Into the postseason, and let's fly. Let's let them fly again.
Penn State's got the whiteout at home against Washington. That's their next hurdle, probably their biggest one, actually, down the stretch. They also have to go to Minnesota. But let's refocus on the Buckeyes, because we learned that Will Howard was good enough. And now you've got this schedule, and that includes their arch rivals at the end of the regular season. But the week before that, AT, they got to deal with Indiana. And that is a wild hurdle now.
Indiana appears to be a real football team. They don't beat themselves. They're great on defense. They're explosive on offense. They play great in the red zone, and they force turnovers. We thought it was all smoke and mirrors and bravado. Their strength of schedule hasn't been that strong, but they've gotten better week by week.
Are they a championship team?
I think so.
What week will it go from appear to actually they are?
I'm saying this. To me, Indiana would beat Penn State by 10 points.
There it is. That's the word with the barcode, right? And you look at Indiana, you're like, that's homecoming week.
You might get that in a playoff matchup.
That's homecoming. That's a bye week. Yeah, we got Indiana before Michigan. That ain't no bye week anymore, folks.
Pack your lunch.
Well,
Yes.
Will Howard enjoyed his homecoming, and apparently
Yes, he did.
we did too. But even AT.
I'm writing that one down.
See you down the road. Yeah, 10 points.
appears to be a really good football team.